Have you ever looked at your paycheck and asked yourself a quiet question you didn't want to say out loud? What happens if this stops? That single question used to haunt me every Friday. The numbers printed on that paper felt like oxygen, and yet every month it disappeared faster than I could breathe. I was doing everything right. Steady job, benefits, predictable income. But there was this silent fear that lived in the background of my mind. A whisper that said, "You're one emergency away from losing it all." I remember sitting at my kitchen table one night, the soft buzz of the refrigerator the only sound in the room, staring at my bank app. My balance was fine, but I felt broke inside. That was the night I started to see money differently. Not as a salary, not as digits on a screen, but as a flow. Something that could move in and out of my life depending on how I built the channels for it. And that's when the idea hit me. Maybe real financial freedom isn't about earning more from one source. It's about building small rivers that all lead to the same ocean. At first, I didn't know where to start. I didn't have a business degree, I wasn't a tech genius, and I didn't have thousands saved up. What I did have was curiosity and a desperate need to stop depending on that one fragile paycheck. I started with the smallest thing imaginable. I listed an old camera online. When it sold, the profit was tiny, but the feeling was huge. That first sale didn't change my life, but it changed my mindset. I realized I could create value outside of my job. Over the next few months, I started experimenting. I tried reselling small gadgets. I offered to edit videos for local businesses after work. I even wrote short ebooks about things I already knew. Tiny digital assets that kept selling while I slept. Each stream was small, but together they started forming something real. It was like planting seeds. Some grew fast, others didn't sprout at all. But every little one that survived added a new drip to my growing cash flow. The real turning point came when I started to understand the formula behind all of it. It wasn't a get-rich-quick trick. It was actually boring, almost too simple. Here it is: create, multiply, automate. 3 steps. That's it. Step 1. Create. Build something that can move value from your skills or assets into someone else's hands in exchange for money. That could be knowledge, service, time, or a product. Step 2. Multiply. Find a way to make it happen without your full presence each time. Maybe it's an online system, a repeatable service, or a digital product. Step 3. Automate. Once it earns consistently, remove your hands from it. Let it flow while you start building the next stream. I called this my cash flow formula, not because it sounded fancy, but because it felt like unlocking a code nobody told me existed. My job had been a single faucet. This formula turned my life into a network of pipes. The first real success came from something unexpected. I started a small weekend class teaching basic design to beginners. Nothing complicated, just the stuff I used at work. I recorded the sessions and uploaded them to a simple website with a payment link. I didn't advertise much, just word of mouth and a few posts online. A month later, I noticed I was getting small payments almost every week from people I'd never met. That class, once recorded, became a silent worker that never slept. I remember waking up one morning, checking my phone, and seeing 3 payments come in overnight. It wasn't much, maybe $50 total. But it hit me like lightning. This is what cash flow feels like. It's quiet, patient, and deeply freeing. You stop trading hours for money, and instead, you start trading ideas, systems, and creativity. But here's the truth nobody likes to admit. It's not easy at first. The hardest part isn't finding the idea. It's staying patient long enough for the flow to start. Most people give up right before the first drop of water hits the bucket. I almost did too. There were months when I made nothing. Times when I questioned whether this whole multiple streams thing was just another YouTube fantasy. But something deep inside pushed me to keep going. Every time I built one more small stream, even if it was weak, I could feel the anxiety of losing my job getting smaller. And that feeling, security built by choice, not by employment, became addictive. Eventually, my streams started merging. The small reselling profits, the course income, the side freelancing gigs. They started forming a pattern, a rhythm. The total amount each month began to resemble a paycheck. That was the first month I realized I didn't need my job. I was choosing to have it. Still, I didn't quit right away. The old version of me was terrified of letting go. I kept saving everything from those side streams, stacking it like sandbags against future storms. Then, one afternoon, while driving home in traffic, I looked around at the endless rows of cars and realized something. Almost everyone here is driving home to a paycheck that vanishes in 2 weeks. They work, they earn, they spend, they repeat. I didn't want to live like that anymore. That night I made a deal with myself. If my cash flow could match my salary for 6 straight months, I'd walk away from my job. It sounded insane at the time, but that goal gave me something stronger than fear. It gave me direction. I spent nights building, automating, testing, failing, and trying again. And slowly the streams strengthened. The formula started proving itself true. By the time month 6 came, I looked at my spreadsheets and saw it. My combined streams had not only matched my salary, they'd passed it. But it wasn't about the money anymore. It was about control. I didn't have to ask anyone for permission to take a day off. I didn't need to stress over performance reviews or layoffs. My life had shifted from dependency to design. And the craziest part? Most of those streams were small. 50 here, 100 there. But they were constant, predictable, flowing. Together they built something no single paycheck ever could. Stability without chains. That's when I walked into my boss's office and gave notice. I wasn't angry. I was grateful. That job had paid for the time I needed to build freedom.